Cambridge IELTS 3 by the University of Cambridge Local Examinations Syndicate. Published by Cambridge University Press. This recording is copyright. Test 3. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all your answers in the listening question booklet. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear 2 colleagues, Joan and Peter, organising a Christmas dinner for their office staff. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Right. Let's try and get it sorted out today, so we don't have it hanging over us, OK?
Good idea. I'll take notes.
First thing, numbers. Have we got anything definite?
Well, I've been working it out and I think 40 to 43.
Shall we put 45 to be on the safe side?
Yep, fine.
Joan and Peter agree that 45 is a safe number to book for, so 45 is written as the answer. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 1 to 5.
Right. Let's try and get it sorted out today, so we don't have it hanging over us, OK?
Good idea. I'll take notes.
First thing, numbers. Have we got anything definite?
Well, I've been working it out and I think 40 to 43.
Shall we put 45 to be on the safe side?
Yep, fine.
Dates. Well, that's straightforward.
The last working day before Christmas, which is...
Which is December the 21st.
Which is going to be pretty difficult to book at Christmas. So we'd better think of 2 or 3 places, just to be on the safe side.
Well, last year's was hopeless.
The Red Lion, wasn't it?
Yeah. We ought to go for something more expensive, 'cause
You gets what you pay for.
That new Indian restaurant in Weatherfield is supposed to be excellent. The Rajdoot.
Oh, how do you spell that?
Rajdoot.
It's bound to be packed.
Well, let's put that down as the first choice and have some backups. What about the Parkview Hotel as a second choice?
Yes, that's always reliable. Parkview Hotel.
And the London Arms, in case.
London Arms?
I'll call them now if you want.
No, I'll do it, Joan. You're really busy. Oh, have you got the numbers?
Not for the Rajdoot, but... Right, Parkview Hotel. 777192 and London Arms 208657.
Great. Before I ring, we'd better just make sure they're within the price range.
Up to £15 a head?
I think you'll find some people won't be able to go that high.
Well, you can't get anything decent under £10.
OK. We'll say 12.
OK.
And we'd better make sure there's good vegetarian food.
And a non-smoking section. You know what the boss is like.
Don't remind me. I'll let you know as soon as I get anything.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Good news. I found Rajdoot's number straight away and they can fit us in. Their Christmas menu sounds great.
What is it?
French onion soup or fruit juice,
Uh-huh.
roast dinner or lentil curry. Sounds ordinary, but my friend said it was really tasty.
Lentil curry. That's unusual.
And then for dessert, there's traditional plum pudding or apple pie, plus coffee.
That sounds really good for £12. Did you book it?
Well, I said I'd check with the staff first, but they did say they'd hold the booking until next Wednesday anyway. Oh, and if we go ahead, they'd like a £50 deposit.
50 is normal. That's fine.
And they want a letter.
Right, to confirm.
Oh, and they say with such large numbers, we have to choose the menu in advance.
Well, that won't be a problem. I'll put up a notice with details of the restaurant and the menu. When did you say they wanted confirmation by?
It was, let's see, the 4th of November.
Where do you think I should put up the notice? Where everyone's guaranteed to see it?
On the cafe notice board, I should think.
Hardly anyone looks at that.
Well, the newsletter's probably your best bet.
Oh, good idea. I'll go and do that now.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 2. You will hear a college tutor asking Julie Brooks, director of a college sports centre, to talk to a group of students about the centre. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listen carefully to the first part of the talk and answer questions 11 to 16.
So I'll hand over now to Julie Brooks.
Thank you. Welcome to the Sports Centre. It's good to see that there are so many people wanting to find out about our sports facilities. First of all, membership. All students at the college are entitled to become members of the Sports Centre for an annual fee of £9.50. To register with us and get your membership card, you need to come to reception between 2 and 6 p.m, Monday to Thursday. I'm afraid we can't register new members on Friday, so it's Monday to Thursday, 2 to 6 at reception. Now, there are 3 things that you must remember to bring with you when you come to register. They are your union card, a recent passport-size photograph of yourself, and the fee. It doesn't matter whether you bring cash or cheque. We can't issue your card unless you bring all 3, so don't forget. Your union card, passport photo and fee. Then once you've got your sports card, you will need to bring it with you whenever you come to book or use any sports centre facilities. Booking over the phone is not allowed, so you have to come here in person with your card when you want to book. Our opening hours seem to get longer every year. We are now open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. For those of you who are up and about early in the morning, we're introducing a 50% morning discount this year. This is because the facilities tended to be underused in the mornings last year. It means that all the sessions will be half price between 9 a.m. and 12 noon on weekdays.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
So, what exactly are the facilities? What sports can you play here? Well, this room we're in at the moment is called the main hall, and it's used mainly for team sports such as football, volleyball and basketball, but also for badminton and aerobics. On the other side of the reception area, there's the dance studio. This provides a smaller, more intimate space, which we use for ballet, modern dance and martial arts. Not at the same time, of course. Then, in a separate building, which you may have noticed on your way here, it's on the other side of the car park, there are the squash courts, 6 of them. And at the far end of the building, a fitness room. This is our newest facility, only completed in the spring, but it's already proving to be one of the most popular. As well as all these facilities available here on the campus, we also have an arrangement with the local tennis club, which is only 2 miles away, entitling our students to use their courts on weekday mornings in the summer. So, I think that there should be something here for everybody, and I hope to see all of you at the centre, making use of the facilities. If, in the course of the year, you have any suggestions as to how the service we provide might be improved, or its appeal widened, I'll be interested to hear from you.
That is the end of Section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 3. Section 3. John Brown, a school student, is entering a competition for young electronic engineers. He is talking to his teacher, Mary Collins. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 30.
Good morning, Mrs. Collins. I just wondered if you could help me with this entry form for the Young Electronic Engineer competition.
Hello, John. Oh, you've made the jigsaw for blind children with the bleeper.
When they put a piece in correctly, that's right.
OK, let's have a look at the form.
Right, thanks. I've never filled in one of these before, so...
Well, let's just do it in pencil first. So, name of designers.
Well, Anne helped me with some of the electronics work.
Then you must put her name in as well. Right. Anne Ray.
Sorry, it's A-N-N-E, and her surname is spelt R-E-A.
Good start. OK, R-E-A. And age is easy. You're both 16. What have you called the design? Keep it short.
What about jigsaw puzzle design for visually handicapped?
Too long. Just say blind puzzle. That'll do.
OK.
Right now, size of equipment?
I've got it noted down here. Yes, width is 20 centimetres.
OK.
Length is 50 centimetres, and then the depth is, well, it's very little.
What would you say? I think you can be approximate.
I'd say 2.5 centimetres.
And the electricity supply? Is it mains operated?
No, it isn't. It's actually battery.
OK. Right, battery.
Fine. OK, it's the next bit that I'm really not sure what to put.
Well, special features means what is really new about this? You know, suitable for the group you made it for.
Well, it's safe for children.
That's fine. Put that in.
OK. And of course, we think it's educational.
Yep, there you are. You've done it. Anything else?
Well, I think the price is good.
That's probably the most important factor.
OK, cheap price.
Which brings us on to the next bit. What's the cost?
Well, the pieces we made out of old wood, they cost, $5.
And the electrics?
They were more expensive, say $9.50. Brilliant. Now, what do they mean by other comments?
It's just a chance for you to say anything about the equipment and problems you envisage.
Well, we'd really like help with making plastic instead of wooden pieces.
Well, put something like, need help to make plastic pieces.
OK. And the other thing is, we'd like to develop a range of sizes.
Well, that's fine then, just put that. And the last bit is, when will you send the equipment?
Well, we've got a lot of work on at the moment and we want to get it as good as we can.
Well, say 25th of June?
Can't we make it later?
Well, the last date is the 1st of July. Why not say that?
OK, that's what I'll put.
So, that's the lot.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much, Mrs. Collins. I'll send it off straight away.
Glad to be of help. Very best of luck to you both.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That is the end of Section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Section 4. Section 4. You will hear a talk about ostrich farming. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully to the talk and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today, I'd like to introduce Ted Hunter, who used to rear sheep and poultry, but who is here to tell us about a rather unusual type of livestock that he's been concentrating on in the last few years. Ted Hunter is a member of the Domesticated Ostrich Farming Association and is here to tell us about the possibilities of breeding and rearing these birds in this country.
Thank you, Paula. When you look at international restaurant menus and supermarkets, they all tend to feature the same range of meats: beef, lamb, chicken, pork, that sort of thing. But people are always interested in something different. And we're now finding that farming can bring new types of meat to our tables. The kangaroo is one animal that's now being farmed for its meat and eaten outside Australia, where it comes from. It looks and tastes rather like rabbit, though it's slightly darker in color. But it is rather tough, so that's a problem for some people. Crocodiles are also being farmed for their meat. This is rather like chicken, pale and tender, and it's getting quite fashionable. Some people also find it's rather fatty, but I think it makes a really tasty sandwich. Now, a third type of meat becoming increasingly available, and the one that I think is by far the nicest of the three, is ostrich, which most people say has a similar taste and texture to beef. However, it's much better for you than beef, as we'll see later. Most people think of ostriches as wild animals, but in fact, ostriches have been farmed in South Africa since around 1860. At first, they were produced for their feathers. In Africa, they were used for tribal ceremonial dress, and they were also exported to Europe and America, where they were made into ladies' fans and used for decorating hats. Later, feather fans and big decorated hats went out of fashion, but ostriches were still bred, this time for their hide. This can be treated to produce about half a square meter of leather, very delicate, fine stuff of very good quality. At the same time, some of the meat was used for biltong, the air-dried strips of meat popular in South Africa as a sort of fast food. However, recently there's been more and more interest in the development of ostrich farming in other parts of the world, and more people are recognizing its value as a food source. Ostrich meat is slightly higher in protein than beef, and much lower in fats and cholesterol. It tastes good, too. A series of European taste tests found that 82% of people prefer ostrich to beef. And one ostrich produces a lot of meat, from around 30 to 50 kilograms, mostly from the hindquarters of the bird. Farmed ostriches don't need African climates, and in fact, ostrich farming is now becoming well established in other parts of the world. However, setting up an ostrich farm isn't something to embark on lightly. Mature breeding birds are very expensive. Even a fertilized ostrich egg isn't cheap, so you need quite a bit of capital to begin with. Then the farmer needs special equipment, such as incubators for the eggs. The young chicks are very dependent on human minders and need a lot of attention from the people looking after them. In addition, ostriches can't be intensively farmed. They need space and exercise. But in spite of this, they make good farming sense. A cow produces only one calf a year, whereas a female ostrich can lay an egg every other day. And because the farmers can use incubators and hatched chicks are nourished well and protected from danger, the failure rate on farms is very low indeed. And almost all the fertilized eggs will hatch out into chicks, which will in turn reach maturity. This is very different from the situation in the wild, where the vast majority of chicks will die or be killed before they grow up into mature ostriches. So it's possible, once the initial outlay has been made, for the farmer to be looking at very good profit margins indeed. Ostrich farming is still in its early days outside Africa, but we hope that ostrich meat will be freely available soon, and before long will be as cheap as beef.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. In the IELTS test, you would now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet. Test 4. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all your answers in the listening question booklet. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 friends who are planning to visit a friend of theirs who has just had a baby. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
John, I've just had some good news. Susan has had her baby.
Do you know when she had it?
Yesterday, the 10th of August.
Oh, my father was born on August the 10th.
The baby was born on the 10th of August, so the 10th of August has been written on the form. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 1 to 5.
John, I've just had some good news. Susan has had her baby.
Do you know when she had it?
Yesterday, the 10th of August.
Oh, my father was born on August the 10th. Give me the details and I'll make a note for everyone at work.
Okay,
Well, was it a boy or a girl?
it's a boy.
And what are they going to call him?
Tom. Tom Lightfoot. That sounds quite good, don't you think?
Yes, that has quite a good ring to it.
You know, he's quite a big baby. He weighed 4¼ kilos when he was born.
Oh, that does sound big, 4¼ kilos.
And he's long, too, 46 centimetres.
Tall parents. He'll grow up to be over 2 meters, I'd say.
With masses of black hair, curly black hair. You know, we should go and visit them in hospital. What about tomorrow afternoon at around 1 p.m?
Yes, okay.
Where should we meet? I could come and pick you up at your house if you like.
Yes, that would be wonderful. My car is still off the road.
Just refresh my memory. What's the address again?
It's 15 Chesterfield Road, Paddington.
It's next to the library, isn't it?
Not exactly. It's next to a bank. The State Bank, actually. The library is opposite us on the corner.
That's right. And there's a garage on the other street corner. I remember now.
So you'll pick me up at 1:45, and we'll be there at 1 easily.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Now, what should we take? We must take them something.
I always think flowers are good to take to someone in hospital, don't you?
Well, not really. Everyone always brings flowers and they don't last. I think it's much better to take a pot plant so she can take it home with her.
Yes, but then she has to remember to water it. And what about a big box of chocolates?
OK, chocolate sounds fine. We should get something for the baby too. What do you think?
Yes, you're right. What do you think of something like baby shampoo or talcum powder?
Or we could get a little hat or something like that.
We don't know the size or the right colour, do we?
I think we should get something they wouldn't normally buy. What about a soft toy of some sort?
Yes, a soft toy.
What about a teddy bear?
I could get one early tomorrow at the market, and I could probably get the chocolates there, too.
Good.
So you'll pick me up at 1:45 at my place, and I'll make sure that I've got the presents.
You must remember how much you paid for the gifts, so I can pay you back for half. If they're going to be from both of us, I would like to go shares.
Okay. I'd say the chocolates would be about $15 for something nice and not too small, and the toy would be around $35 or so, I think.
Good, that'll be fine. About $25 each then. Good. I'll pick you up then on Sunday at 12:45.
Okay.
See you then. Bye.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You will hear a popular science radio program. Liz Shearer talks about some new devices for use in the home. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the radio program and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good evening. Tonight's show comes to you from the Good Home exhibition in Duke's Court, where we've been trying out some of the latest gadgets on show here and getting our resident expert, Liz Shearer, to tell us which ones are worth buying and which will die a death.
Well, hello. Yes, John, I've been investigating 4 new household gadgets and sorting out the advantages and disadvantages and then really deciding what are must-buys, what are maybe-buys and what are never-buys. Let's start with this vacuum flask for keeping drinks hot. Well, I felt this had quite a lot going for it. Most of all is the fact that it contains no glass and is therefore unbreakable to all intents and purposes. It's made of stainless steel, which is guaranteed for 20 years. Hope that's long enough. And it's true what the manufacturer claims, that it does maintain heat for 18 hours. So that's pretty good. On the downside, it really works out to be quite expensive, and much more surprisingly, it unfortunately leaves a strange taste, when you've drunk from it. So, all in all, my recommendation would be it's got plenty of advantages, but it is rather expensive, so I'd say you should maybe buy it. Moving on to a natty little device, the whistle key holder. Basically, this is where you whistle and the key holder gives off a high-pitched noise and flashes light, so you can find it. One advantage of this model is that it also has a small light. You press the button, and this means you can find keyholes easily. I also felt the small size was a real advantage. Now, on the weaker side, I did find the noise unpleasant, which I'm sure the designers could have done something about. And I found that it didn't work through metal, so it's mainly useful for finding in coat pockets, cushions, etc. But taken as a whole, I thought it was a masterpiece of design and would highly recommend it.
Now you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
The third gizmo is called the Army flashlight because it was developed initially for military use. It works by squeezing the handle to generate the power. Its advantages are that it can be used for outside activities and also, and this is one of the surprising features, it does work underwater. My main objection to it, though, was although it did work in these conditions, this model gave off a weak light. So my recommendation, I'm afraid, would have to be to avoid this one. The decoy camera was last on my list. This is a fake video camera which you fix to your wall to scare off burglars. The advantage of this model is something which makes it look very realistic. It's flashing light. On the downside, it was quite difficult to fix to the wall. However, Burglary is such a major problem these days that it is worth the effort. So, this gets my strong recommendation.
OK, thanks for that, Liz. And now I'd like to...
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 3. Listen to a female student, Amina, talking to her tutor, Dr. Bryson, about her project on local history. Amina has completed a first draft of the project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully to the first part of the discussion and answer questions 21 to 26.
Well, Amina, thanks for letting me have your draft in such good time.
Oh, that's all right. I was just very anxious to hear what you think of it. You can see that I decided to change the topic. I had been interested in looking at Bering's factory.
Oh, I think the hospital was a much better choice. In fact, well, I have to say that I thought it was good.
Oh.
There's still lots of work to be done.
Oh, yes, of course.
But there's plenty of good ideas. It opens well, and the first chapter is fine, but the middle section really stood out for me. Most interesting.
That's amazing, because I really didn't find it a bit easy to write.
How long did you work on the whole thing?
Well, I spent about 2 or 3 weeks reading and doing general research, and then I dashed the writing off very quickly. So about 4 weeks in all.
Well, that's about par for the course. You've got a while yet to make the changes.
Oh, right. No problem.
Right. Let's have a look at my notes here. Okay, starting with section headings. The broad divisions are good, but you'll have to redo the actual headings. I've made some suggestions in the margins.
OK, thanks.
Now, this information on local housing. I can see why you put it there, but it really isn't relevant to the approach you've taken.
I think I see what you mean.
Now, what did I say about the interviews?
Oh, I worked very hard on those. I really thought they were valuable.
Oh, they are, Amina, but they're very complex and rather unclear at the moment. You're going to have to spend a bit of time making the data a lot clearer.
OK, as long as I don't have to remove them altogether.
No, don't worry.
What about the chronology, the list of dates? I wasn't sure whether I should rewrite those.
My advice on that is to take them out. I feel it makes the whole piece appear too simplistic.
OK, if it'll help.
Now you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Now, there are a couple of other books I'd like you to look at. Have you got a pen? Right. Approaches to Local History by John Mervis.
Right.
And then I think you need to think about ways of representing interview data. Have a look at Sight and Sound by Kate Oakwell.
Sight and sound.
And you know I'm going away on holiday next week.
Yes.
So when you've made the changes, I suggest you show the work to your support tutor.
Support tutor. Right.
Then you do the proofreading.
Proofreading. When by, do you think?
I'd aim for the 29th of June. And after that, you should get it laser printed. But be careful, because the computer center closes on the 10th of July.
And then I hand it in to...
Oh, the faculty office, as usual.
OK, that's fine. I think I'm all set now. Thanks very much for all your help.
A pleasure. See you when I get back.
Yep. Thanks, Dr. Bryson. Bye.
Bye.
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 4. You will hear a talk given by a university lecturer about the impact of environmental noise on a proposed building site. Before you hear the talk, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 35. Now listen carefully to the first part of the talk and answer questions 31 to 35.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Bundle, and I am giving you the lectures on environmental noise this term. Today, we're going to look into the effects of noise on a planned housing estate in a particularly difficult part of the new Manchester Park area. This site is not as bad as some I have researched in the past. The Blacktown Airport is closed from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m, and this is a great advantage to the site. The only noise after dark is from the highway, and the traffic is somewhat reduced between 7:30 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. So the people most affected by the noise will be, I expect, housewives. By the time most of the students and workers have arrived back home in the evening during the week, the noise will have abated to a fairly large extent. The weekends are still a problem, of course, but the traffic is certainly reduced on Saturdays to a large extent, and even more so on Sundays. Of course, modifications to houses will be necessary at a site like this, and they come at a significant cost to the developer and home buyer. The modifications I'm about to outline will add about $25,000 to the price of a newly built house. That will still mean a cheaper house than in a less noisy and more desirable area. A bit of background would not go astray. I understand that you are all familiar with the proposed development site at Manchester Park. It's a particularly difficult one in terms of noise, with the highway along the eastern perimeter and the Blacktown Airport not 3 kilometres away to the north. Of course, those nearest the highway will be the worst hit, with heavy traffic noise as well as the noise from the light planes overhead. As you all know, the normal noise threshold for private housing is 55 decibels. At this site, the levels have been recorded as high as 67 decibels.
Before the talk continues, you have some time to look at questions 36 to 40. Now, as the talk continues, answer questions 36 to 40.
The construction of the houses has to be somewhat modified from houses in most areas. In the houses on the highway and in the noisiest areas of this site, there will be a need for specialised double glazing, and special acoustic seals will have to be fitted to the doors. All exterior doors in this especially noisy pocket will have to be solid core wood doors with hinges. Every house built on this site, not just those adjacent to the highway or nearest to the airport, will require high-density insulation materials in the roof. Not only will all the roofs need insulating, the exterior walls will be required to be double brick. All ceilings will require double-thickness plasterboard to be used in the construction. In the noisiest areas, mechanical ventilation will have to be installed in the exterior walls. In those areas with sealed windows, it will be necessary to fit fans with absorbers to cut out the noise in those particular houses. Air conditioning units could also be fitted in the ceilings of such houses, but this is substantially more expensive than fans and may not be needed on this site. Coming back now to the double glazing I mentioned before, specialised double glazing requires a larger air gap between the inner and outer glass than normal double glazing. The gap must be at least 7 centimetres. The thickness of the glass is also a factor, 8 millimetres on the outside and 6 on the inside pane. It's essential that the glass be thicker on the outside than on the inside, and that the gap between the panes of glass be a minimum of 7 centimetres. Obviously, the noise factor will have to be taken into consideration with the layout of the houses. Living areas will have to be designed at the back of the houses, away from the highway. Bedrooms and living rooms will have to be built towards the back. And for those houses closest to the highway, 2 layers of plasterboard will be needed for the interior bedroom walls. Those rooms constructed at the front of the houses should be garages, laundries, kitchens, bathrooms and dining rooms. I have come to the conclusion that this development should go ahead, but with various acoustic modifications, according to the position of the block in relation to the highway and intersection.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.